Hi y'all, welcome back to Rona is Reading. For today's video, I have compiled roughly all of the media I think I interacted with this year to organize into an internet-friendly tier list. Really quick, let's just go through the tiers. The first one is gonna be New Fave Just Dropped. This is for stuff that went above and beyond, and I think I'm gonna think back on for years to come. The next tier down is It's Good. Yeah, I liked it. It might not impact my life forever, but I did really like it. This is kind of the 4 to 5 star range for books, that sort of thing. The next tier down is Does What It Says on the Tin. This stuff does what it says on the tin. I couldn't have asked more from it, but it didn't exceed expectations or go down into the depths of bad media. It just kind of was there. The next tier down is None for Me, thanks. This was stuff that either just wasn't for my taste or I thought had some craft or other issues that made me sort of not feel too fondly about it. And then the last tier, the bottom of the barrel, is The Sidest of Eyes. This is the stuff that I read that made me go, you should not be doing that, in various ways, as you'll see. So let's jump right in. These are in no particular order. Alright, first up, starting strong, is a reread of the first Animorphs book. If you don't know what Animorphs is about, it's 6-ish kids who stumble across this dying alien in a construction site and gain the ability to morph into various animals. They are kind of tasked to become child soldiers against a mind invasion of Earth. It's really good. It's really anti-war. I like it. I'll put this in. It's good. This book does a really good job of setting up the series. I like that. I just recently talked about No More Heroes. That's gonna go in None for Me, thanks. Kailohi I read back in, I want to say August. It's about this imaginary bear creature who is interacting with various people's lives through dreamscapes. I really, really liked the art of this artist, and I really did not love the stories. I think I'm gonna put this one in None for Me, thanks, as well. Another Animorphs book, The Extreme. This one, they're in the Arctic, I believe. Yeah, this one does what it says on the tin. I really like the Animorphs filler novels. I know they're not for everyone. Next up, also an Animorphs book, The Attack. This one I have thought about a lot since I read it. This is one of the off-planet Animorphs books. This one, I'm gonna put it in New Fave Just Dropped. That might be controversial for this book in the series, but it's really, really interesting to me. The next book is maybe my least favorite book of the year, which I did a rant review about in my September-October wrap-up. Fire, which is the second book in the Graceling series and follows this, magically alluring redhead girl. Yeah, this one was bad. And bad in a way that made me question Kristen Cashor's priorities in life. Oh, and whiplash from that. The next book here is The Republic of Thieves, which is the third Gentleman Bastards book. I won't go too into detail since it's a third book, but this series basically follows a gang of gentleman thieves of that, very established fictional archetype in this fantasy world. And they're essentially con men, and this book follows kind of a sensational rivalry between two of them and also establishes a lot of really interesting world building for stuff going forward. I think this book came out in 2013, so who knows if the next book is ever gonna come out, but I'm waiting for it. This book is my favorite book of the year just due to the circumstances I read it in, and so for that reason it's gonna go in New Fave Just Dropped. Next is All Systems Red, which is the first Murderbot book. I read this entire series this year, and most of them I read in the graphic audio format, so it's like a full cast audiobook with sound effects and stuff, which really added to these. This book does a really good job of setting up the world, sets up Murderbot as this security robot who is kind of property of the company that owns it, and it has hacked its governor module, which is the thing that kind of controls it, and just kind of wants to watch media, but also these humans on the job it's on are really annoyingly good at getting into dangerous situations. I'll put this in, it's good. Next book is In Real Life. It's a graphic novel following this one teenage girl as she kind of explores a MMORPG and interacts with various like race and class systems and economic disparities through it, and kind of learns to find a voice for herself and make a community on the game she's playing. I thought this was really good. I like Jen Wong's illustration style a lot. I'll put this also in It's Good, probably up high. The next book I read was Arrow's Flight, which is the second in the first Voldemort trilogy. This one was mid. The first book is definitely the best book in this trilogy. This follows... oh gosh, I've forgotten her name. Elspeth, maybe? No, it's not Elspeth. Talia. This book follows Talia as she's kind of interning under another herald of Voldemort. These heralds are kind of like magical horse cops in their kingdom. This one was good. I'll put it in does what it says on the tin. The next one, however, which I see, so I'm just gonna place it now, is now gonna go into None for Me, Thanks. This one, I won't say it was awful, but it was definitely a very weirdly trauma-centric ending, and like weirdly damsel in distress ending for a series that started with like a very strong magic school vibe. So I don't know, I'm probably gonna pick up some more Voldemort books this year, so we'll see if I like the later ones better. This was the first trilogy that was published. The next book here is The Summer War. I loved this one. This is Naomi Novik's newest fairy tale novella. It follows Celia, who uncovers her magic at the worst possible time and accidentally curses her brother, and also there's so much going on in this kingdom, which is in this perpetual war with the neighboring, like, Summerland's elf kingdom. It's really good. I don't know how some of these novella writers put in as much stuff as they do into their novellas, but wow, for just over 100 pages, this book really gets you. I'll put that here. I'm just gonna reorder this a little. This next book was The Queue. I talked about this a couple months ago in more detail, but it basically follows two characters trying to traverse through The Queue, which is a quarantine zone that Austin, Texas has been turned into. It is a speculative YA book with a pretty cute romance in it. I liked this one a lot. I'll put this one in It's Good. This book, The Scandalous Confessions of Lydia Bennet Witch, was the first book I read this year, and it kind of was the book that convinced me that some retellings can actually be good. I do have a huge problem with some retellings that just kind of retell the story with focus on different characters but don't necessarily engage critically with or unpack the original story's themes. And this story, which is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice through the lens of Lydia Bennet being a seventh daughter of a seventh daughter, and therefore a witch, this book does amazing things. Highly recommend. Not my only Pride and Prejudice retelling of the year, but definitely the one that I prefer. I'm gonna put this one at the top of It's Good. It might go up. This book I haven't quite finished yet as of time of recording. It's Sense and Sensibility, which I'm reading for Jane Austen's 250th birthday. Happy birthday, Jane. It's good so far. I'm gonna put it in It's Good. I might add an addendum after I've finished it. I'll put it below Murderbot. This book follows two siblings as they attempt to find husbands. Very Jane Austen. It is kind of Jane Austen sitting you down and saying, so look, here's the interpersonal drama, and everything is like juicy gossip, and it's sensational. And I want to do some research around like the thesis of this book, because Jane Austen so far really seems to have a bone to pick with this idea that you can't fall in love more than once, and is using this book to kind of explore that. Next down here is The House of My Mother, which is Sherry Frankie's memoir. Sherry Frankie is the daughter of Ruby Frankie, who, if you haven't heard, was a family blogger and was just, I believe, arrested or charged with child abuse, and so this book kind of goes into what that looked like from the inside and what the family blogging industry does to people and to families. I really like this one. I would put it in Does What It Says on the Tin. This next one was a short one, Life on Svalbard. This was a couple hour audiobook that I read about this one woman's life on Svalbard, which is up near the North Pole. It is partially inspired by that song that went really viral about the dog that lived on Svalbard.
Name is Grim and he lives on Svalbard, an island close to the North Pole.
I will also put this in Does What It Says on the Tin. It was really interesting to learn about Svalbard, but it's so short, it's not really doing much more than that. Next in line of novellas that are doing so much that it's astounding is Recitative by Toni Morrison, the GOAT. This is a story about race. There's these two girls at an orphanage, and one is black and one is white, except Toni Morrison tells this story in a way that never gives you an answer to which little girl is which race, and kind of makes you sit with the emotions of not knowing and not being able to come down on a side, and it's just so brilliantly done. This one had a foreword by Zadie Smith, which was also really insightful and helped kind of unpack all of the brilliance of the craft that Morrison is doing in this story. I think I'll put this at the very top of It's Good. Next, this is more of a short story, Infect Your Friends and Loved Ones. I read this one for a book club. It is about the unnamed protagonist and her tumultuous relationship with Lexi, a fellow trans woman. They kind of have a messy breakup and then reconnect, and the protagonist finds out that Lexi and some friends have developed a virus that's main side effect is that no one can produce hormones after contracting it, so everyone will have to be on HRT after getting this virus, and kind of explores the dystopia of that and codependency between Lexi and the protagonist, and has a understanding of solidarity and marginalized anger that's very, very complex and compelling for such a short story. I'm gonna put this in Does What It Says on the Tin. The next book is Woodworm. This one's hard because I liked what this book was trying to do, but I didn't like how it kind of gave you the point and then stared you in the eye and was like, do you get it yet? Do you get it yet? Do you get it yet? This is about class. This is about a mother and a child who live in this decrepit, old, possibly haunted house and have this feud with a richer family, and it kind of devolves from there. Yeah, I didn't like this one. I'm gonna put it in none for me, thanks. Probably about here. Next is Betwixt, which was a manga anthology with 3 horror stories from Japan and 3 horror stories from the Americas, I think. I think there were 2 from USA authors and 1 from a Canadian author, but I might be wrong about that. This was a pretty good short story collection. There were 2 that really got me. Overall, it was just this interesting exploration of what it means to be between. I'm gonna put this at the very top of what it says on the tin. This next one was Make It Count, which was Cece Telfer's memoir about being the first trans woman NCAA athlete and her childhood leading up to that, her struggles in college athletics, and then especially struggles with the Olympic Committee. This was really insightful, and yeah, it was just great to hear her story. I'm gonna put this, probably like middle of it's good. It was good. Next up, I reread The Hobbit this year. This is like a classic fantasy novel following Bilbo Baggins on an adventure. You know, I'm gonna put this at the very bottom of it's good. That might be controversial. This next book is Days at the Murasaki Bookshop. This follows a kind of down-on-her-luck protagonist who's had a couple of rough breaks, and she moves in with a relative at the Murasaki Bookshop and helps him run it for a while as she's getting back on her feet. This book was just really calming and nice to see kind of the power of books and the power of a strong community and how that can help you through rough times. I'm gonna put it in does what it says on the tin. It's Days at the Murasaki Bookshop. This next book was Magnolia Flower, the children's book version. I read this for a Storygraph genre challenge. This book I liked. I didn't end up rating it on Storygraph just because I felt like I was very much not the target audience, being a adult with no children. But I really liked the story. I liked how it was adapted from the original story. I think I'll put this in it's good. It was very like gorgeously illustrated. I'll put it in it's good. You can go here. Alright, we're back to more Animorphs. I might just look through after this and find the rest of the Animorphs books in this tier list. This book is like book 26 or 27, The Exposed. I'm gonna put this in, oh gosh, I don't know, maybe at the very bottom of Does What It Says on the Tin. It's another underwater exploration book, and it's kind of the same as the previous Animorphs underwater exploration book, with like maybe the start of a subplot put in there. Alright, let's look through for the rest of the Animorphs books that are from this year. The Visitor, this was a reread of Animorphs number 2. This is the first book following Rachel as she has to infiltrate one of her classmates' houses, and kind of this first arc of Animorphs is very much each of the main protagonists' reason for fighting, and I think this one is the best one of those. Yeah, I won't say more because of spoilers, but in book club discussion, I think this became a new fave. This last Animorphs book is The Encounter. This is the first Tobias book. It's really just Tobias crashing out over some stuff that happened in book 1 for a lot of the book. I love Tobias as a character. This is not his strongest book, but I love him as a character. I'm gonna put it in it's good. I don't know if I like it more than the first one. Maybe we'll put it, here seems good. That is all the Animorphs that I read this year. This next book was Ignition: Lighting Fires in a Changing Climate. I believe I'm saying that subtitle from memory. This is a boots on the ground journalistic work of nonfiction. This author is going and learning a ton about wildfires and prescriptive burns and the legacy of fire suppression in the United States. It's really well researched. It's surveying a lot of involved parties. We go from firefighters who have retired due to trauma from fighting fires. We talk to various indigenous communities. We talk to people who run prescribed burns, people who have been arrested for arson for various reasons. It's just very well researched. I think about it quite often still several months later. I think I'm gonna put this in new fave just dropped. I'll put it about here. Alright, here's that other Pride and Prejudice retelling I was telling you about. This is Most Ardently, which is a YA Pride and Prejudice retelling following Oliver Bennett. It's basically asking, what if the second Bennett child was a trans boy? What would happen? It's a good love story, but I don't really think it's a Pride and Prejudice retelling in anything other than character names, to be perfectly honest. This was a book club pick. We kind of all hated it. It was a fun read, but it wasn't quite there. It was very exemplary of a lot of the issues that I personally have with young adult genre today as well. I'm gonna put this at the top of none for me, thanks. Because it's partially a taste thing for why I didn't like it, and it's partially a craft thing. Next up is The Lathe of Heaven by Ursula Le Guin. I read a lot of Le Guin this year, surprisingly so. This is one of her shorter books. It's about George Orr, who realizes that he sometimes has dreams that change reality. He'll dream something very specific and then wake up and it's shifted reality in some way he can't really control. And so he goes into therapy for this, and his therapist also tries to control changing the world. It's very interesting. I don't think philosophically it's quite as realized as some of Le Guin's other books, but it is very, very interesting and haunting in how exploitative and how prescient it is. It's kind of going through fractals of possible futures, trying to find some scrap of hope. I'm gonna put it in the bottom of it's good. Because it's good. It's just not quite there for me. This next book is What's Wrong. It is a interview collection that was illustrated about bad medicine and chronic illness. I spoke about this at length in my November review, so I won't go fully into detail here, but I really, really liked the way that this author kind of used interviews as an access point to talk about systemic problems, and it was quite well researched. Yeah, I'm gonna put this at, I think, the top of it's good. This next book was The Library at Mount Char. This follows Carolyn, who has kind of been abducted along with 7 other kids by literal God in this universe and told to study a specific subject, and it kind of follows what happens after that god that raised them has vanished. I thought the writing was really interesting in this book, but it didn't quite hit home with the ending. The ending actively was upsetting to me, and how, in the apologetics of it. So, I think I'm gonna put this at the very top of none for me, thanks. Another book club book is Siren Queen by Nevo. This is a Hollywood Golden Age story that's also magical realism. This is sensational. If you haven't read this, go read it. I don't even want to talk about it here. It's just so good. Nevo, I love you. I think I'm gonna put this at the bottom of New Fave just dropped. It might move down. It's so good though. I know I did have some quibbles with the pacing, but after a couple of months, it's grown on me a lot. This next book was a contemporary thriller, The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. It kind of follows a group of characters at a summer camp where a child has disappeared, and it brought to mind her brother's disappearance about a decade ago. This was good. The pacing on this was shockingly good for how many perspectives there were. It was really atmospheric and delivered on its themes. I think I'm gonna put this in it's good. It's good. This next book was another graphic novel. It was Wake, The Hidden History of Women-Led Slave Revolts by Rebecca Hall. This was good. It was kind of following the author as she researched various slave revolts, and was increasingly frustrated with the absolute lack of sources and the difficulty of getting sources, and kind of went into how Black women's existence has been kind of systemically erased from records, especially in these positions of power. I liked this one. I felt like I wanted more information from it, which was maybe the point, but it was pretty good overall. I think I'm gonna put it at the top of Does What It Says on the Tin. We've gotten to a point where I'm just gonna do all of the rest of the Murderbot books in order, because they're starting to pop up here. Do I remember the order of the Murderbot books? Maybe. I think the next one is Rogue Protocol. This follows Murderbot as it's experiencing full independence for the first time, and it's off traveling, investigating a lead. And I'd say this one's pretty good. I will say it does what it says on the tin. I like the Murderbot books overall. However, having read novels that are as long and do way more thematically, sometimes I want a little bit more from them, especially some of the later ones. I think the third Murderbot book is Artificial Condition. Hang on, I need to look this up. I was wrong. Artificial Condition is the second one. Rogue Protocol is the third one. They're both going in the same spot. These were pretty good and set up the world further. Does what they say on the tin. The next Murderbot book is Exit Strategy. We see a couple of familiar faces again. Have to make a dramatic escape. This one was really, really excellent. It was very nicely choreographed. I'm gonna put it in it's good, just above All Systems Red. Maybe about here. Nah, maybe about here. I guess the next one chronologically is Fugitive Telemetry. This was my least favorite Murderbot book. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of Does What It Says on the Tin. It's fine. It's my least favorite of the series. The next one in series order, however, is Network Effect, which I believe is a new favorite. This is the full-length novel. I'm gonna put it at the top of It's Good. This is a full-length novel as compared to the other ones, which are novellas, which follows encountering an old friend in kind of messed up circumstances and having to process that and then, actually help solve the problem. It's really good. It's got a lot of really interesting character interactions. It's got a good core mission. I think this one's definitely my favorite. This is the one I had signed back in November. The last Murderbot book is System Collapse. This one I'll put right next to All Systems Red. It was pretty good. I definitely noticed in some of these Murderbot books that Martha Wells kind of focuses on things that I wouldn't personally want focused on and zooms out on things that I want more information on, and that's very much the case in System Collapse. But it's a good book overall. That's why it's good. Alright, I'm seeing some Night Eaters trilogy stuff pop up now, so I'm just gonna talk about that entire trilogy. The first book is all the way down here. I think it's called She Eats the Dead. This is about a, Asian diaspora family. These two twins are kind of reconnecting with their parents' roots through, a messed up haunted house. I really, really liked this first one. I'm gonna put it, I don't know. I think I'm gonna put it in It's Good. I don't know. See, my memory of the second two has tainted this book. It's really gorgeously illustrated. It's a really good story about kids connecting with their parents on heritage in their own way. It's a horror story. It's got it all. So it's a shame that the next two books in the series fully jump the shark all the way into hell, and they decided to explode the stakes so much that, they're spending so much time explaining what's happening that none of the interesting character moments really happen anymore, in my opinion. I'm gonna put these two on none for me, thanks. Near the top, because they're still pretty, but, I don't know. I wanted that small-scale storytelling that's in the first one, and that's just not what's happening here. I've been told that this is a issue with comic books in general, which makes me very hesitant to pick up more comic books in the future. Next on this list is Blackfish City, which follows this group of disparate characters in the city of Canuck as a mysterious orca rider shows up to town. It's a city in the Arctic. It's very cold and inhospitable in this climate change future. I'm gonna put this in Does What It Says on the Tin. I liked it, but I do also have some issues with it, particularly with how it portrays the breaks. I'll put it about here. This next book was Trail of the Lost. It follows this investigator and journalist as she's trying to help parents find their kids and loved ones who went missing on the Pacific Crest Trail. It sort of dives into various methods and stuff for finding kids. I thought it kind of wavered a little. It was not focused enough to be really, really good nonfiction. I'm gonna put this at the top of none for me, thanks. It had some interesting information, but it just didn't quite get there. Next up, A Mouthful of Dust. I talked about this in a recent wrap-up. This is the most recent Singing Hills book, following Chi as they go to a new town to learn about a famine that occurred there. I'm gonna put this in It's Good. It's a good book. I really like Nevo. Yeah, I am gonna move Siren Queen down. This next book is Everything Is Teeth. This is a memoir that follows the narrator's childhood in Australia and her anxieties around deep water and sharks. I really liked the illustration style of this book, but it was quite meandering. I think I'm gonna put it at the bottom of Does What It Says on the Tin. Next, I decided to put the entire Full Metal Alchemist series in one. You're welcome. Full Metal Alchemist. I finished up this manga series this year. It's really good. It's really good. I will say, I feel like the TV show is paced a little better with the benefit of hindsight, but the manga is really intricate, really well world-built, has a lot of really compelling characters. It's a new fave. This next book was a random Moon Knight comic I picked up. It wasn't good. I'm actually gonna put it in the Sidest of Eyes. We don't have to talk about it. Alright, next up, this is a book I read back in January, Swordcrest by Freya Marsk. I really liked Freya Marsk's first trilogy. This is a queer romantasy following two leads. One is kind of the heir to a prestigious garment-making family, and the other is this duelist who just showed up to town, and the heir, whose name is Maddie, ends up employing this duelist to teach him how to duel for his wedding ceremony, and it devolves from there. I was really surprised in this book how badly the smut scenes were integrated, because they're really well integrated in Freya Marsk's previous books, which is why I liked them. They fit with the plot. This one, the plot would happen and then they would be having sex on the ground in the practice court, and I was like, what's happening? There's no segue into this. The plot was good. It was disappointing compared to her previous books. I will put it in the top of Does What It Says on the Tin. It was still pretty good. The world building was good. This next book is The Only Good Indians, which I talked about a couple months ago. This follows a few Blackfeet men who killed something they really should not have on a hunt they were not supposed to be on. This story follows. I really liked this. I need to pick up more horror. The Buffalo Hunter is definitely on my list for next year. I'm gonna put this in It's Good. Put it about here. Content warning for animal death. I will say that. Next was all of Land of the Lustrous. I started and finished this manga series this year, and I really liked it overall. I am gonna put it kind of lower down in It's Good, I believe. Maybe here. This next book was Cat Person, which is a sort of compilation of webcomics from this artist. I talked about this in my September-October wrap-up, but I really liked the comics with cats in them, and I found the comics without cats in them to just not quite be my humor. I'll put Does What It Says on the Tin. Sure has cats. This next book is Bianca Torre is Afraid of Everything. This follows a very anxious teenage birder as they're witnessing a murder and also realizing that they're non-binary. I really liked this one. It made me believe in young adult books again, that there are young adult books that fit my taste. I'm gonna put this probably at the very top of It's Good. It's good. This next book is Yellowface, which I just talked about in my previous wrap-up. This was a book club book for my Discord book club, and honestly, if you've been on BookTube, you know what this book is about. It's about June Hayward, a white author who steals her now dead Asian friend's manuscript and tries to pass it off as her own. Except this manuscript is about the Chinese workers in World War I, and it goes about the way you think. I will put this in It's Good. I think it's good. Next is Clariel, book 4 of the Old Kingdom series, which also, just in my recent wrap-up, loved the Arrow Ace rep in here. This book took me on an emotional roller coaster. I love the, foreshadowing of an empire falling into disrepair, but I do wish that the Old Kingdom world building could at all get away from the powerful bloodlines trope, and it just can't here. I think I'm gonna put it in kind of near the bottom of It's Good. This next book is It Will All Hurt, which is a graphic novel about this group of children in a nightmare apocalypse magical land fighting an evil wizard. I'll say it does what it says on the tin. It's very gorgeously illustrated. It does what it says on the tin. This next book is Eros and Psyche, another comic collection which I did not love. This follows two, I think, teenage girls at a magical witchy school that has a very strict selection process, kind of what occurs after they fall in love. I thought it was really pretty, but the pacing and the overall arc of the story weren't quite there. I'm gonna put it in none for me, thanks. Still above the Night Eaters, books 2 and 3. This next book was Teaching to Transgress by Bell Hooks. This is kind of a book breaking down Bell Hooks' philosophies on teaching and of teaching diversely in academia in around the 90s, I believe. It's really good. It's got a lot of insights that many people could stand to learn from today. I'm gonna put this one in New Fave Just Dropped. This is the first Arsène Lupin book. I knew I was reading Republic of Thieves this year and wanted to kind of read another book that was arguably popularizing this gentleman burglar trope, although it was a very well-established trope around the time that Sherlock Holmes stories were popular. They were very intricate. I really liked the authorial voice. I'm gonna put Does What It Says on the tin. And then I actually read another sort of jazz age gentleman thief book, which was A Gentleman and a Thief, which was a nonfiction about the famous jewel thief Arthur Berry. This I found really informative. It kind of went into Arthur Berry's life, his golden age of gem theft and then his arrests and life after. I found this very informative. I'm gonna put this at the bottom of it's good. This next short story was The Eyes Have It by Philip K. Dick. This is like a 10-page short story, so I really can't tell you what it's about, but the punchline is literal thinking. I'm gonna put this like at the top of none for me thing. I just didn't find it funny, and I think that was the whole point. I'm usually pretty lucky with picking up random books from the library, but this book came to spite me. For all of my luck, this was the first book of Ran and the Grey World. It was really gorgeously illustrated, however, I realized after finishing this first volume and then like looking into it that this is essentially a romance about like a young child aging up to adulthood and falling in love with a man. But if you need me to tell you why that is going in the sidest of eye, then please unsubscribe. Alright, next up was all 3 volumes of Uzumaki. I'm gonna put this in Does What It Says on the Tin. This book is about a village that's been cursed to emulate spirals in various ways. The art is very pretty and horrific, but I just don't really love the sense of voyeurism that is in all of Junji Ito's novels. This is my favorite one I've read of his. This next book was another memoir, The Risk It Takes to Bloom. This follows Raquel Willis, a trans activist, kind of talking about her early life, college, coming out, and her activist work. I liked this one. I'm gonna put it in kind of mid-range, it's good. Next is You Are Here. This was a poetry anthology about the natural world and what it means to live in a world that is going to see a lot of climate change in the next decades, and it has already. I may have only enjoyed so much because I don't read much poetry, and I should read more. I liked it. This was an anthology, so some poems were definitely better than others, but I liked it overall. I think I'm going to put it in, it's good. It's good. These tiers are not really in order anymore. Alright, next up, I haven't finished my reread of this yet as of time of recording, but I will soon. The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I'm rereading this because I really like the way that Sanderson writes war in this book. It's really interesting. World building's interesting. I definitely, memory hold this one a little because I like some of the future books in this series so much more than it, and thought that since those books are so much better that The Way of Kings was bad, but no, The Way of Kings is a very good book. I'm gonna put it in, it's good. This is hard because it definitely got drawbacks, but I'll put it mid-range, it's good. This next book was The Haunting of Hill House. I really liked the exposition of this book, and I really thought that the rising action and ending were very weak. Well, maybe the ending was evocative and, traumatic, but I don't know if that makes it good. I'm gonna put Does What It Says on the Tin. That house is haunted. This next book is Little Mama, which follows a woman in therapy talking about her, abusive family upbringing. This was really gorgeously illustrated. It kind of got to the center of one woman's story of childhood abuse. I think I'm gonna put it in, it's good. Didn't really have any drawbacks on this one. Next is Yucatan 1512. This is a very short story. Essentially, what if mechs in the Yucatan? It's really gorgeously illustrated. I really, really liked it. I'm gonna put this also in it's good, probably around that same area. I just wish it had been longer. If it had been longer, would it have jumped the shark like the Night Eaters did? Who knows? Next is Much Ado About Nothing. This is kind of Shakespeare's famous rom-com. This follows 2 couples. One couple falls in love immediately and a conspiracy keeps them apart. One couple literally cannot stop bickering every time they are in the room with each other, and their friends conspire to get them together. It's very funny, it's very witty, it's very bisexual. I'm gonna put this in It's Good. I enjoyed this a lot. Next up is The Dispossessed. This one is going in New Fave Just Dropped. It was a reread. I was very happy to realize that I still liked this book a ton. This book follows Shevek, who is a physicist on the anarchist, quote-unquote, utopian planet of Anaras, as he travels down to the capitalist hellscape planet Eurus, and his politics are radical on both worlds in different ways, and it's philosophically and politically very well realized. This next book was Gorilla Green, about urban gardening. I thought this was very gorgeously illustrated and had a lot of good information. I'm gonna put it in Does What It Says on the Tin. Next up is like the first arc of Marriage Toxin. This follows Gero, who is like a magical poison assassin master and kind of head of a crime family, as he's handed an ultimatum to get married or else, and he sort of meets this marriage swindler and recruits the marriage swindler to like help him find a wife, and it's very, very funny, it's very heartfelt, it's very gay, it's good. I was very surprised by this. Next up is The Night of Baba Yaga. This follows this woman who is a brawler in Japan, and she kind of gets picked up by a Yakuza family and assigned to be the chauffeur for somebody, and becomes a queer love story of sorts. This one was very brutal and very good. I felt like some of the pacing was a little off. Like, I feel like we waited a little too long for the actual twist, / maybe it should not have been a twist, maybe it should have been like the bread and butter of the book. But for a novella, I really liked this. I'm gonna put it in Does What It Says on the Tin. This next book is Inverse Cowgirl, which is Alicia Roth-Weigel's memoir about being intersex and an activist. I liked this. I wish it had a little bit more about Roth-Weigel's activist work. I'm gonna put it on Does What It Says on the Tin. It does what it says on the tin. This next book was Marigold Mind Laundry, which is a magical realism book about a woman who is running a magical laundry that can erase emotions and stains on your heart from your heart and mind. The premise was super cool on this, and the execution was bad. I'm gonna put it at the top of the sidest of eyes. Next is Parable of the Sower. This was another reread. It follows Lauren Almina, who is kind of living in this climate dystopia in a very precariously safe neighborhood, and sort of follows both her life and her religion that she's trying to start, called Earthseed, where God is change. Yeah, this is good. This is a classic for a reason. The age gap is the only thing that makes me not love it. Next up is Murder by Memory. This was another quick mystery novel set in a world where there's all these people on a spaceship and they can store their memories on the cloud, essentially. And someone has been murdered, and the main character is sort of awoken by the ship to figure out what happened. I will say it does what it says on the tin for this. I just wanted a little bit more from it, but it was like a good afternoon read. Next up, some more nonfiction. This was Ursula Le Guin's collected nonfiction writings, I believe the last volume before she passed away. This was Words Are My Matter. Really found a lot of her essays insightful and got a lot of good book recommendations for this. Le Guin, as always, just has such a good way of granularly explaining her thoughts on things that really works well for nonfiction like this. I'm gonna put it in It's Good. Put it around here. Next, The Martian. This was the first book club book I read for the year. This follows Mark Watney as he gets stranded on Mars after a Mars mission and has to kind of survive with the resources he has. The science in this is very excellent, and the prose is very of 2007 or whenever it was written, but I still really enjoyed it. I'm gonna put it in, it's good. Put it around there. Alright, these next two are both novellas in the Littenworld series. The first is Fina, which is essentially about what if IKEA was a portal to the multiverse, and what if 2 employees got sent into that multiverse to retrieve something. This is really good. I really liked the character relationship arc in this, and how it wasn't like a forced romance arc. I feel like I never see that in books. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in, it's good. Yeah, maybe about there. We split the murder bots. And then the second book, this is set at that same weird multiverse IKEA, but is following a different perspective character who is maybe not entirely human and maybe not entirely to code, as he kind of works through that and meets doppelgangers of himself and sort of realizes some of the issues with this company that he low-key worships. I am gonna put this one in New Fave Just Dropped. I loved this book. I still very often think about this guy. Yeah, I will say, if you like Murderbot, you're gonna like Defect. This next book is The Magic Fish. It is a story of a boy whose parents have immigrated from Vietnam, and he's kind of connecting with his mother over fairy tale stories as he's practicing his reading and she's practicing her English. This book's really good. It's really gorgeously illustrated. The fairy tale retellings are all like astounding and remixed to fit the story. I really like this. I need to reread my copy before I return it to the library. I'm gonna put this one in New Favorites. This next book was a really quick read. It's Leaf. This is basically a graphic novel following a leaf going through this steampunk foliageless city and kind of changing things. I will say it does what it says on the tin. It's so short, it doesn't have any words in it, but it tells a really compelling story regardless. This next book is It Is Wood, It Is Stone. I talked about this in my September-October review, but this follows Linda, who is like a disgruntled writer who moves with her like rich professor husband to Sao Paulo for his job, and is now disgruntled in Sao Paulo. I've definitely soured on this book since I read and reviewed it. I just it's so litfic in all of the ways that I dislike, and I don't even think it delivers on its premise. I'm gonna put this in none for me, thanks. No thank you. This next book is Our Work is Everywhere. It is a interview compilation of queer activists. I will say it does what it says on the tin. Some of the interviews are definitely more interesting and compelling than others. I did find the illustration style really compelling, but it also made it really hard to follow the prose sometimes. Yeah, does what it says on the tin. I really liked some of the ideas on activism in here, though. This next book was Stories of the Islands. This is a Indonesian folktale retelling centering women. I really liked these. I read this so many months ago that I don't really remember too much from it, but it was really gorgeously illustrated, and I really liked learning about new folktales that I hadn't heard before. I'm gonna put this in. It's good. This next book was Blackheart Nights. It is a cyberpunk, or I don't know, motorcycle chic punk Arthurian legends retelling. I have mixed feelings on this. In one respect, I liked it. I really liked the setting and some of the world building, and I really I don't love retellings that are as straightforward as this one ended up being. At times, you feel like characters are only doing things because that's what they did in the original story. I'm gonna put does what it says on the tin. I will probably read the second one eventually. I'll put it maybe like here. Next is Art Life. This is kind of a weird magical realism memoir about this artist kind of reflecting on what it means for her to be an artist. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of does what it says on the tin. It's just like very meandering and journal entry-y in a way that doesn't match my tastes. Actually, from the description, I should put it in none for me, thanks. The last book on this tier list is The Mythmakers. This was a graphic novel that goes into the life and friendship of C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien. I found this to be really information-dense, but also a little rose-tinted about their lives. I will put it in. It's good. It's good. Am I gonna put it above The Hobbit? That would be really funny. Hi everyone, you made it to the end of the books section. If you jump ship now, I totally understand. This video got pretty long. I'm not sure how long it's gonna be in the end. So long that it is now 2 parts. So this one is just the books. Part 2 with everything else will be up probably as soon as I edit it. A little bit of housekeeping. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. It really does help me. I'm just starting out here. Other than that, buckle up if you're staying, and let's jump into part 2.